Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on the major Group of 5 matchup coming up here in Week 1. And it's going to be between the Boise State Broncos and the UCF Knights, two big-name Group of 5 teams coming into this 2021 season. We can definitely see both of these teams do very well in the 2021 season. Boise State is the current favorite to win the Mountain West, and UCF could very well win the American in this upcoming season if they can get past Cincinnati. But of course, both teams are definitely looking good heading into this 2021 season, and that makes this game very crucial for both these teams. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with this preview and prediction here today. This game's going to be on Thursday, September 2nd in Orlando. So UCF is the home team in this matchup, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Spread currently says UCF by 5, so it is predicted to be a pretty close matchup here between Boise State and UCF, and rightfully so. I mean, this could be a very high-scoring matchup, I do think, and honestly, both teams could very well win. I mean, UCF does have the home field advantage here, but I could definitely see both teams getting a big win here in Week 1. But over under 68, ESPN FPI's got UCF 76%, so the FPI is favoring UCF by quite a bit at 76%, but the spread is saying that it will be quite close. Series history, this is actually the first matchup, surprisingly enough, between Boise State and UCF, so that makes it even more of an intriguing matchup between both of these teams. Here's just stat comparison heading into this matchup. Of course, Boise State last year, 34 points per game, 27 points allowed. They also had 241 pass yards a game, 105 rush yards, so this is a very heavy passing offense last season in Boise State. As for yards allowed, 237 passing, 141 rushing for the Broncos. As for UCF, this was a team that had one of the highest rates of points per game in the nation last year at 42, but their points allowed was not so good at 33. They had 357 pass yards a game. That is an outstanding stat line there. And then 210 rush yards a game as well. So obviously this team was averaging right around 560 yards a game, which is pretty insane. I mean, if you think about it. So that's definitely something that you should keep in mind heading into this matchup. You got two pretty high-powered offenses. As for yards allowed, UCF's got 261 passing, 149 on the rushing side. Here are some key points heading into this matchup. Boise State was 5-2 last year, and they're pretty overshadowed by San Jose State. But of course, Boise State is the main constant in the Mountain West. The one team that is always at the top of the rankings or at the standings in the Mountain West Conference is Boise State. And San Jose State, I mean, it was kind of crazy. They went from having a terrible season in 2019 to being the conference champions in 2020. So it was an insane turnaround there. But I don't expect San Jose State to be quite as good in 2021 as they were in 2020. So I wouldn't worry about them too much. But Boise State is my current favorite to win the Mountain West. I mean, there's really no other team. I mean, Nevada was pretty good last year, but they're losing a lot. Really no other team comes to mind that could compete against Boise State to win the Mountain West as of right now. But yeah, this Boise State team definitely has got plenty of talent heading into 2021. As for UCF, they were 6-4 last year, so it was a bit of a disappointment of a season. But then again, the American Athletic was a great conference last season. You had Cincinnati, who was a national contender. You had Memphis, SMU, all pretty good. So overall, pretty tough American Athletic Conference last season. But I think UCF is going to continue to be a contender in that conference heading into 2021. They also have the home field advantage in this matchup, not to mention, so that's going to be also going to benefit UCF in this matchup. Dylan Gabriel, watch out for him this upcoming season. He is definitely a name that I'm keeping an eye on. He played pretty well last season for the Knights, and he's got even more experience now heading into 2021. So he is definitely a name that I'd be watching out for. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at the prediction for this game. Once again, very intriguing and definitely a close matchup here between Boise State and UCF. But I've got the Knights getting the win slightly in the end, 30-34 is my prediction for the final score. So I expect it to be a pretty close matchup, pretty high scoring as well. I think we could see a bit of a shootout between Boise State and UCF. You got two very good offenses, and I mean the defenses are pretty good as well, but the offense side for both of these teams is very good. So I do think we see more of a higher scoring matchup here between both of these teams. 30-34 is the current projected final score from me. So I do think UCF gets the win. But honestly, if this game was in Boise State, if it was in Boise, I actually probably would pick Boise State in this matchup, but it's just a home field advantage. I mean, both teams are very similar skill-wise. But the home field advantage, I think, is what's going to give UCF a pretty good advantage being in Orlando. So, yeah, 30-34 is my predicted final score. I also think UCF, I like this UCF team this upcoming season. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, all around, this team looks pretty good. Probability of UCF 60%, so I'm somewhat confident that we see the Knights get the win. Halftime, it's going to be a tie score, 17-17. So we'll see a pretty close game throughout this entire one. And this is actually going to be a pretty fun matchup here that really no one's talking about. So, yeah, certainly should be a good one here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this Boise State UCF matchup. And I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you guys later.